we're set up and ready to go.
Okay.
So I'll get us started.
I'm ready.
All right.
Just,
I'm going to hit go.
all right. I appreciate it, Samantha. You that we are, have had tremendous winds with this. 62-mile-an-hour gusts at Lovell Field around 6:16 Eastern time. And those storms are diving down to the south and east very, very rapidly. Most all of our northwest Georgia viewing area under this severe thunderstorm warning as that line of storms drops farther down to the south and to the east. So Dade, Walker, Catoosa, Whitfield, and Murray under a warning out until at least 7:30, which extends farther south through Chattooga and also in Gordon County. Let me share this update over to a couple of other of our viewing area, a couple of other of our social media sites. And we'll get started here real quickly. Thanks so much for joining us tonight as we track these storms all across our viewing area, as we always do. So I'm going to invite a few folks on who watch normally on my page. We'll get them to join us on this page. All right, and then let me get the folks on our Storm Track 9 page to join us over. A little multitasking here. Okay, everybody, let's take a look at what's happening out there. There is the latest warning out. This line of storms is dropping so fast that most of our viewing areas now included under this warning, all areas south of the state line. If you are north of the state line, well, guess what? You are out of the warnings. Now, you're not out of the woods as far as lightning. It's still loud in Soddy Daisy. It's still loud in Sale Creek. It's still loud in Cleveland, Calhoun, and Ocoee. But all areas now south of the state line, from Chickamauga, Ringgold, Dalton, Chatsworth, Ellijay, Blue Ridge, all under severe thunderstorm warning. Well, let's take a look at this storm as it dives down to the south. We'll start to the west first of all. Trenton to Chickamauga, very heavy downpours of rain with that. Our main threat, strong damaging wind gusts. If you're watching right at the top of this webcast, we mentioned the airport had a wind gust of 62 miles an hour. Wow. So no doubt some of those winds could be accompanying these storms in and around Chickamauga down to Kensington. And then it looks like now south of Ringgold is where the heaviest rain is now moving in. And might have a little bit of hail. See that little bit of purple right there, south and west of Tunnel Hill? A little bit of hail could be accompanying that. Let's take a look at the velocity scan as well. Could have some strong wind gusts. Let's loop that just for a second. Yeah, you can see some stronger gusts there. But that's probably a hail signature showing up. And then you go east of Tunnel Hill, in and around Dalton, right along 41 and 76, which extends from Dalton to Chatsworth, right along the county line. Very heavy rain. Look at all this lightning. It's extremely loud. Strong wind gusts accompanying that as well. So do be aware of that through central and southern Whitfield, down through Murray. And then even behind that line from Chatsworth to Crandall, A lot of lightning with that, up and down 411. It's not quite as bad as you cross back across the state line into Tennessee. Across Fannin County near Blue Ridge, again, loud claps of thunder and heavy downpours in Blue Ridge, but a little bit worse, western edge of the county, and then into northern Gilmer. So Ella J, let me point something out. You've got heavy rain and lightning over you now, but look just to the north and west. So it'll be this batch, a little bit of a break, and then more heavy rain coming in. So Gilmer County, which includes Ella J, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning out till 7:30 Eastern, the next 40 minutes. And there we go. You can see that line where it dropped really fast to the south and east. Areas north of the state line, again, are warning free, but severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect. Let me make sure I got everybody posted on our Twitter or X channel as well. You can also reach me there at StormTrack9Dave on Twitter. And let me show you again the extent of the watch locally. Again, I'm going to have to update this. The watch is no longer in effect for Southeast Tennessee, so we'll omit that for now. Okay? And it's until 11 o'clock across Northwest Georgia. And I still believe for Cherokee and Clay, that's out till 9 o'clock. It probably is not going to last that long. And even across North Georgia, where that watch is in effect till 11 o'clock, all right, it is not going to last that long, mainly just for the early to mid stage of the evening with this current batch of storms. So we're going to do a little live updating on that manner. And we'll put it right there. We'll update it. There we go. So again, all across Northwest, or supposed to be Southeast Tennessee and Northeast Alabama, no longer under that watch. And you can see why with that line dropping south. Let's take a look at some of the wind damage reports. We did have that wind gust report at Lovell Field of 62 miles an hour. That was a little less than an hour ago. Let's go across Grundy County. Wind gust at Dunlap, 60 miles an hour, around 5:34 Central Time. Now, a lot of areas are without power. I understand that. So let's take a look at some of the wind damage. Tree down on Appleton Road and Parrott Road. That is in Cohutta in Whitfield County. Across Bradley County, a tree down, some home damage there in Cleveland. Happened just around 6 o'clock. Hope nobody's injured there. Across Ray County, several trees down around Dayton as those storms roll by. That damage report at 5:30 Eastern. Up near Spring City, winds likely associated with thunderstorm outflow brought down a large chunk of a tree just north of Spring City. That happened around 5:11. Let's check around Athens here. No doubt more storm damage, multiple trees and power lines down at Athens and the northern portions of McMinn County. That's as the storms rolled by about an hour ago. And right along the Tennessee-North Carolina border, this is in Polk County near Turtletown. Trees down, that's by train spotter in Farner, Tennessee. That was at 6:23, so about a little over half hour ago. So a lot of areas with some wind damage. Let's go back to the main radar view. Here are the storms that we're watching as that line of storms drop down to the south and east. Let me get you caught up on a power outage update. We'll go with the maps from EPB. There's a huge amount. Right now in EPB, there are 8,823 customers without power. That's covering a large part of Hamilton and even a little bit of Bradley County as well. So there's 600 incidents, 8,800 customers affected, EPB, those areas without power. So again, we have severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. Let's take a look at this one. This is including western Gilmer, southern Murray, northeast Floyd, southeast Whitfield, Walker, Gordon, southwestern Dade, and Chattooga County. Out till 7:30 Eastern time, this line of storms is dropping south at 25 miles an hour. Could have wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour and quarter-size hail. So let's track that line for you real quickly. Again, you can see I've got the upper level winds noted here, right there, moving southwest, northwest down to the southeast. So kind of moving in that general direction. So we're going to track that line for you here. We'll track this portion that's just to the east of Chatsworth. So here's an estimated time of arrival of the strongest line of that storm. So Lafayette in the next few minutes, but we got Ramhurst around 7 o'clock. You're no doubt hearing the thunder just north of you in Ramhurst. Ellijay, thunder and lightning now, but that line, which is right here, will reach you by 7:18. So kind of a 1-2 punch there in Ellijay. All right. Resaca around 7:30. So about a half hour away from that storm coming down from the north. Calhoun around 7:52. So again, that shows you the direction of movement down to the south, southeast at around 35 miles an hour. Some of the individual storms may move a little bit faster. Okay. Main storm threats are this damaging wind gust. And with that, folks, when you have damaging wind gusts like this, sometimes it could bring down a lot of trees. It may resemble a tornado. And some of the gusts can reach low-end tornado strength. So again, we've had a lot of reports of damaged trees down area wide. We've not had any official tornado reports, okay? But just want to let you know that. Let's take a look here near Ellijay. That could have some hail with that. South of Ellijay, extremely heavy rain, but probably a little bit of hail. Let's put our hail tracker on there. We'll take the radar out just for a second. It doesn't show hail yet. So we might have a little bit of hail with that. Yep, a little bit of it right there. So a little bit estimated size of that hail. About the size of a quarter. Right there near Ellijay. It's right to where it's purple. It's that very high reflectivity right there. Also, we can look inside and see what the winds are doing. And as you can see, right where that strong updraft is with the hail, very strong wind gusts right there, south and west of Ellijay. Right there, very strong winds just south and west of Ellijay. So again, in Ellijay, where that warning is in effect, that is a severe thunderstorm warning. You get wind gust potential upwards of 60 miles an hour, and as just mentioned, quarter-size hail. That warning in effect till 7:45. Again, the worst of that storm is south of Ellijay into the central and southern part of Gilmer County. Still very heavy downpours in around Dalton to Chatsworth. Crandall, very heavy rain, tremendous amount of lightning. That goes all the way back to around Varnell. So areas like Ringgold, Varnell, Cisco, even Crandall, you're out of the severe element. You're not out of the woods with lightning, though. Remember that 30-30 rule with lightning safety. Wait 30 minutes since the last visible lightning strike or 30 minutes since the last audible clap of thunder before resuming outdoor activities. Okay? Now let's go back. Again, all areas like Cleveland, Athens, Saudi Daisy, Dayton, Decatur, 10 Mile, you're no longer under a watch. You're no longer under warning. However, looking here, still pops of lightning going on, heavy rain, and no doubt causing some flash flooding. In fact, there's a flood advisory right here in Monroe County. And that's a flash flood warning now for parts of McMinn and Monroe. Radar's indicated that upwards of, let's see how much rain they've estimated there. That warning is out till 8:15 Eastern. So you're going to have flash flooding of small creeks and streams, urban areas, highways, streets, and underpasses, as well as poorly drained and low-lying areas. Again, this is for northwestern McMinn and central Monroe until 8:15 p.m. So that's the main threat over our Tennessee counties is the risk of flash flooding. Also the risk of lightning. So still a little loud in these areas like Ottawa, Cleveland, Sunny Daisy, Sail Creek, but not a severe situation at the moment. Jump on here, see some of your comments. People asking about tornadoes. I've not had any reports of that. We've had a lot of tree damage reports, but not of tornado. But we are closely watching those, okay? Victoria says very high winds in Rossville, but didn't lose power. That's good. Jeff says half-inch of rain here in Ringgold and power's out on Everett Road. Laura says no power at her house and on Dalton Pike. Barbara says no electricity in Chatsworth. Suzanne says it's nasty here in Cleveland. Yeah, it's still pretty nasty in Cleveland. It's still loud with rain, but the severe element has moved away. The worst storms, again, are dropping farther south and east. It's still around Dalton. Lafayette's right on the edge of very heavy rain over to Villanelle. It looks like south of Chickamauga. You're about to get out of that. Still a lightning threat. Heavy rain Dalton to Chatsworth. Bonnie says no power in Dalton. And there's that very powerful storm, Ella J, south of Ella J, and very heavy rain and lightning there. Over to Cherokee, Clay County, North Carolina. The warning has ended around Murphy. Is still in effect for the far eastern edge of Cherokee over to Clay County till 7:30. That includes the Andrews, Brasstown, Hayesville area. Again, wind gusts of 60 and heavy downpours of rain. But it looks like Hayesville's right on the tail end of the heavy rain as it drops across the state line into Georgia. Murphy's still raining heavily, but out of that warning. Again, all areas in southeast Tennessee are out of the warnings. In fact, the warning has now expired for Chickamauga, Ringgold, north of Dalton, Crandall, Cohutta area. Still raining, still a lot of lightning, but not a warning. Now all the warnings in effect for Lafayette, south of Dalton, south of Chatsworth, Somerville, Tryon, Calhoun, all under a severe thunderstorm warning. That is out till, I believe, 7:30 Eastern time. Yep, Diana just says much calmer here in Chickamauga. Jill says no power in Benton Station. JJ says got about 5 trees down his backyard in Cleveland. That's not good to hear. Hope everything's okay there for you there, JJ. Tara says no power in Chatsworth. Checking back over the EPB, 9,400 customers without power. That's all over Hamilton County. So many areas are without power. So again, looking at the overall view locally, I'll pause this for a second. The most severe part of the storms is here. Okay. Secondary area here is not severe. So this is severe, this is not severe, but it is adding to a flooding risk. So be aware of flash flooding, still be aware of lightning. So if you're going outside to check on things, it's still a lightning threat. I would stay inside till the lightning has stopped before checking on any wind damage across areas where the storms have already moved through. Lisa says it's calming down now in Dawnville. That's good to hear. So again, let's move across areas. These are areas not under a warning, but still raining heavily. Red Bank, Sunny Daisy, Signal. So some good downpours around Hickson, Snow Hill, Birchwood, Ottawa. Cleveland raining heavily, though not under a warning. Several lightning strikes still popping off there, both north and south of Cleveland, right along the Meigs and McMinn County line. Downpours in Athens over the Sweetwater and Madisonville. So some lightning near 10 Mile, but, not severe. And as I just mentioned, this big green area is where flash flood warning out for northwestern McMinn and central Monroe till 8:15. With all that heat going on today, folks, that was adding fuel to these storms. The reason why the winds were so strong and why we had that level 2 risk of severe storms. I mean, look how quickly that added lift. We had the line coming in, but watch this cluster of storms about an hour ago, north of Dalton, north of Chatsworth. That's what exploded. And that's what really caused even stronger wind gusts across Whitfield and Murray County especially. Heavy downpours in LJ. Still a lot of lightning in around Blue Ridge or to Mineral Bluff. A lot of lightning there in that part of Fannin County. Let's go to Dalton. So Rocky Face to Dalton over to Keith's Mill. Around 75. Here's 41. Here's 76 over to Chatsworth. More heavy rain towards Chatsworth, kind of easing up just a bit north of Rocky Face. And again, just to show you that the watch, severe thunderstorm watch, has been lifted for southeast Tennessee. There are no other severe thunderstorm warnings. It's still raining. It's still lightning. It's still loud. But again, below severe levels there. All right, let's take a look again at some of the wind damage reports, see if any new reports have been added to this. And these will start filling in as time goes by. This is usually the case. But again, just to show you, the airport had a wind gust upwards of 62, so it's no surprise you've got a lot of wind damage locally. I believe the other wind report was from Dunlap, just north of there, wind gusts of around 60 miles an hour, around 5:35 Eastern. And again, reports out all across our viewing area. This is just for an example in Cleveland. This is, for example, in the Dayton area. And this report here right along the state line, that's more in Whitfield County near Cohutta. Trees down occurred around 622. And then northern Cherokee County, north of Murphy. Let's see, multiple trees down near Murphy in Cherokee County from the storms that moved by about 30 minutes ago. So again, looking at the overall view locally, strongest storm stretch from Lafayette to just south of Blairsville. Again, no longer severe. Murphy, Athens, Cleveland. It's still a lot of heavy rain, but we're getting a bit of a break. Nicole says trees down at her house in Dalton. I hope everything's okay there, Nicole. I appreciate your report and staying with us. Renee says power out in Mineral Bluff. Tina says trees and power lines down all over Murray County. Some power lines across the roads, and folks, be careful with any power lines exposed. Stay away from them. And hats off to the crews out doing the repairs. They're doing the best they can. Those are some brave men and women who go out there out in the elements to make sure you get your power back. Allie says trees down in Cleveland. Marilyn says power off in Cleveland with trees down. Allison says trees down in Ottawa. So it sounds like a lot of cleanup going on locally. So again, when you're dealing with these strong wind gusts or the worst of it, it's usually on the leading edge of this line. We mentioned how around that cell near LJ where you could have some hail with that. And it developed quickly. It's a true squall line. And when squall lines are like this and all that heating, boy, it's just like lighting a match on gasoline. Stuff lights up pretty quickly. There you can see Calhoun, heavier downpours. Not quite as intense in Dalton. I'd give it about another 15, 20 minutes. You'll probably be out of the heavy rain. It's drier now in Ringgold. It's drier for Walker County, north of Lafayette. Most of Dade County is now dried out. Hamilton County still heavy downpours, though not severe, but still be careful for the runoff and flash flooding. Athens, Calhoun, Ocoee, all still dealing with heavy downpours. That flood warning across northeastern McMinn and northern central parts of Monroe County. And again, this warning out for roughly the next 20 minutes, which includes Gordon, southern Walker, parts of Whitfield, Murray, and I think I just mentioned Gordon County. Let me check our website for some pictures. You can go to newschannel9.com and click on our chime-in page. You can view some storm damage photos or submit yours. Okay? See if we've got any new photos submitted. See, Barbara says trees down, power outages all across Chatsworth. Jason says power out in Riceville. Stacy also confirms no power in Chatsworth. Just checking a few things here, folks. A few things behind the scenes. Again, I'm looking at the EPB power outage, Matt. About 9,700 people without power, so they've restored some of those. Andrea says, Dalton, heavy rain, strong winds, did some damage to the trampoline. Hate to hear that. I know those are easily damaged with strong gust. Michael says power out in Cleveland. Brady says got pretty scary in Lafayette. I'm sure it did. As we were tracking on our newscast live, it was so loud and so fast, that storm rolling in. Gilmer County under two separate warnings. That warning out till 7:45, but I believe a lot of that will be passing south of LJ pretty quickly. So let's go to Whitfield County near Dalton. Rocky Face now out of the heavy rain. Dalton almost about another 15 minutes or so to be moving south of Keith's Mill. Still a lightning threat, to be aware of that. Dawnville, still a lightning threat, although the rain's easing up. Chatsworth still raining heavily, so a lot of lightning. So again, stay inside. Layla says, so far so good south of Blairsville, just rain and thunder. Barbara said, when is it going to be over for Chatsworth? Well, you're almost out of it. Notice Chatsworth's right here. I'd still give it to about 7:30. Between now and 7:30, still some heavy downpours, a lot of lightning. But after 7:30, this will ease, and so will the lightning threat. But I wouldn't go outside yet. Ramhurst, still very heavy rain. The central southern part of Murray County, southern Whitfield, still raining heavily. And all through Gordon County, very heavy rain near Calhoun to Sugar Valley to Resaca. Let's go into northern Chattooga County. Got some steady downpours there from Lafayette to Tryon, though, again, it's not too severe with this, though technically, again, through 7:30, Tryon, Somerville, that part of Chattooga County, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:30. So do be aware of that. And as I always say, respect the warning, respect the polygon there. If you're in that polygon, which you are, respect that. Let these storms pass by. Still could be some outflow and gusts coming out from that. Okay. Wayne says power out in Resaca. Yep, Stacy's we just mentioned on radar. Ramhurst still get the rain coming down. Lisa says calmer there in Dawnville. Let's go north a bit. Cleveland still raining buckets. Same thing towards Calhoun. It is easing in Soddy Daisy. In fact, all areas now, north and west are 27. In the clear. South Pitt, Jasper, Gruelager, Pikeville, even eventually Soddy Daisy. Things are looking much better. And in the city, things are about to improve as well. Let me show you another radar vantage point for watching anything else for overnight. And yeah, we kind of are. Let this load for just a second. I'm overwhelming the system tonight. So here we go. We've got our cluster of storms here, okay? And there's another line of storms here. There's going to be a big question of how well do these hold together, okay? Because over this part of the atmosphere, it's been pretty much used up a lot of energy. So will these still have energy left to develop? Well, if they do, they could threaten later on because notice the upper level flow. It's like this, okay? There's high pressure over here, fairly strong high pressure over here. So we've got this flow coming down like this, down like that, okay? But a large part of this watch in around Nashville, that was the one that was over us till 9 o'clock. A lot of that has been lifted, that watch has. So we'll have to see if those storms hold together. Now, to give you an example, okay, here's the high-res model opinion for the rest of the evening. And as it starts, again, I'm overloading the system. So this shows us about what it'll be like around 8:15. So as you can see, this is a short-term high. This is not the current radar, short-term, 8:15. So we got all this by 8:15 pushing really south and east of most of the viewing area. Then we're going to keep an eye on this up here to the north and west, and it shows it holding together somewhat, moving south and east. This is 10, 11, approaching the plateau, and around midnight from Crossville to Mount Eagle, and kind of weakening as it moves south and east. So after midnight, kind of weakens a bit. So yes, there is another line we're watching north and west, and there's this movement. We'll have to see if it holds together because, again, this current line over us has used a lot of energy. So we'll see if there's enough energy left to help keep and sustain those storms. Then the rest of the overnight, beyond 2, 3 a.m., pretty quiet. So again, that's watching that next line of storms dropping south and east. It'll be with this line, if that holds together, okay? Again, our update on the severe thunderstorm watch locally. All areas at southeast Tennessee and northeast Alabama are outside the watch. The watch is now expired. Across Cherokee and Clay County, that's out till 9 o'clock, though the threat will end before 9. And across northwest Georgia, this is out till 11 o'clock, though the threat will end way before 11. In fact, the threat will be ending in this area, at least a severe threat, by about 8:30. Let's take a look at the few other wind damage reports that have come in. Red Bank, large tree down near the dam. Happened around 6:05. And again, just to show you, as I mentioned earlier, wind gusts at the airport around 62 miles an hour just a little over an hour ago. So again, 2 areas to watch. The strongest is right here. Secondary is here, although this threat is mainly excessive runoff, flooding, and lightning. And here, the worst threat are the strong wind gusts from LJ to Calhoun and south. Things are easing in Dalton. Things are easing in Lafayette. Things are easing west of, say, Blue Ridge. And then everybody else back in here, pretty much in the clear. Pretty much in the clear. So again, this warning, it's 7:21 now. I anticipate this warning, which includes northern Chattooga, southern Walker, through Gordon and Whitfield. That will expire at 7:30. It'll probably, it might still include southern Gordon when they issue the next update. And again, in Gilmer County, the worst is now south of LJ. It's still loud, but the severe element now is kind of moving away. Okay. Haven asking tornado chances overnight. That threat's very low. Our main concern has been what we had with these storms will be strong damage and wind gusts. That's our main concern with these lines of storms. Tornado threat's extremely low. But again, wind gusts can cause tornado-like damage with downed trees, causing damage to homes. So if you live in it, if your dwelling has trees close by, you may want to sleep or stay on the side of the house that's away from trees. Okay. So got to stay vigilant, and stay on guard during the night as we keep an eye on those storms if they hold together. Julie says there in LJ, it's scary here on the mountain, heavy rain, lots of wind and lightning. Yeah, I'm sure there, you get that upslope flow into the mountains. It can make those 60-mile-an-hour gusts 70 or 80. Pretty strong. As you can see around LJ, the worse that line moving by, but still a lot of lightning over that part of Gilmer County. But it'll improve between now and 8 o'clock. Again, as we were tracking Chatsworth and Dalton, things are improving quite a bit in Dalton. Dalton and North, rain easing up. Chatsworth still downpours, so easing a bit. Very heavy rain to the south, a lot of lightning. Still from Cleveland along 64 to Copper Hill, heavy downpours of rain. Mainly a flooding issue and a lightning threat. Downtown, just some light showers. Things are improving. Heavy downpours in Ottawa. Susan said, power out, trees down in Ringgold in the Brownwood subdivision. Thanks for that update. Tasha says, Cleveland red lights are out in town, so you know what to do. If the red lights are out, folks, treat it like a four-way stop. Dorothy says, power outages in Ringgold off Mount Pisgah Road. David says power outages in Lafayette. Leslie says power out in Dalton. Brenda says no power in Ringgold. I'm checking the EPB map, and as of 7:24 Eastern Time, 10,000 people on the EPB coverage area out without power. That includes southern Bradley, large part of Hamilton, and some areas of northern Walker and northern Catoosa. Extends down to Fort Oglethorpe, Rossville area. So a lot of areas there without power. So I appreciate those of you having to join us on a mobile device. That's why we do this. We're on social media, so if you don't have your TV, at least your mobile device is there, and you can keep up to date on what's happening. Again, flash flood warning out for Blount, McMinn, Monroe County, which includes Madisonville, Sweetwater till 8:15 Eastern. Let's take a look at rainfall over the past 12 hours. Again, there we go. So this is just over the past 12 hours, okay? Just over the past 12 hours. And it's still filling it in here. But you know that flood warning is in effect there in northern parts of Monroe back through Von Orr and areas north of there into Blount County? Take a look at this. This is just a radar estimate. Wow, about 4 inches of rain over the past 12 hours. Athens, about 2.2, again, just over a short period of time. Again, for those that had heavy downpours, a lot of areas left out. And the fact that it blew through so quickly kind of limited the very heavy amounts of rain. But some have had multiple rounds throughout the day. So, for example, around in south of Decatur, around the McMinn and Meigs County line, about 2 inches. Dayton, about 1.5 inches. Let's see. And again, it takes a little while. The radar has a little bit of lag time when it's given the rainfall estimate per hour. So anywhere around Chatsworth, around 2 inches. So do be aware of excessive runoff, flash flooding. So 2 inches has been very common across Whitfield and Murray County. Up towards Pikeville early today, they had several rounds move by, about 1.6 inches. But again, the heaviest right in here, northern parts of Monroe, where over the past 12 hours, about 3.5 to 4 inches of rain. And again, falling on already saturated ground, and some rough stuff. So again, 2 areas we're watching. We've got the mainly heavy rain and flooding threat here. And the severe threat that once we're past 7:30, you're going to see a lot of these boxes expire because this line's outpacing those warnings quite rapidly. I think Gordon will probably stay under a warning beyond 7:30. I think Gilmer probably be out of it, and even over parts of Fannin County. So now we're just dealing with the aftermath, which, dealing with a lot of trees down, unfortunately. Cheyenne asked about tornadoes. Again, I covered that earlier. Our tornado threat's low, but strong damaging wind gusts have been the main issue. We'll have to see if the storms toward north and west hold together in around midnight. But again, these strong wind gusts of 60 to 70 can cause damage like a tornado. So we've had no reports. Doesn't mean one may not have quickly spun up. When you have a line like this, it's very possible. There's also a lot of downburst activity with storms like this. So it can cause damage rather quickly, especially tree damage, which can cause structural damage as well. So Dana says a lot of ambulance, fire crews in the neighborhood. Dana, what location are you? Elizabeth says pea-sized hail during the storm in Dalton. I'll check over some pictures here across our viewing area to see if other damage photos sent in. We'll keep the radar view up there for you so you can see what the storms are at the moment. And you can go to our Chime In page, newschannel9.com, and submit your photos. All right. Thanks, Dana, for your update in Cleveland. All right. We'll keep an eye on that. For now, it appears to be the strong straight line winds have caused a lot of this damage with the trees down. And when it's fast and powerful like this, that's going to be a very common sight with that. And again, The winds roar. Winds are loud roars and can shake a house like a tornado. So you can have tornado-like damage for sure when you have gusts this strong. And within a few storms, you could have microbursts, which can cause even stronger wind gusts. So that's very possible that in the outflow, a microburst could occur, causing that damage. Again, I wasn't there, so I can't say for sure. But on a radar standpoint, I've not seen rotation with that. But we do know that the straight line wind gusts have been very strong. So we'll take a look at, let's see as it rolled through Cleveland. We're just going to do some backtracking here. As it rolled through Cleveland. This is around 612. Again, please note, we're not looking at it live at the moment. This is around 612. Okay. So if we look at the wind gust potential there, as it rolled through Cleveland, it's mainly straight line wind gusts there. But again, can't rule out a quick microburst possible. So again, this is just doing some backtracking, looking at the strong wind gusts that's moved through a little stronger in southern Bradley County. You can see where it came from out of Hamilton. So this again, strong gusts there have caused a lot of trees to be down. No telltale sign, but it doesn't mean that a microburst may not have occurred. A quick spin up could have occurred. So just have to watch that. Now we'll go back to the current time. So here's our current radar view. Again, the warning for Walker is in the clear. Dalton, you're in the clear as far as the severe thunderstorm warning. Chattooga and Gordon in the clear as well. So that warning out for Chattooga and Floyd County out till I believe the top of the hour, about 8:15 Eastern time. Jared, we covered that. Jared asked about the storms over Kentucky. Yeah, we just covered that, and I'll cover it coming up in a few minutes. Those are the storms that could arrive overnight if they hold together. We'll go back over that in a minute. David Lafette's in the clear for now. Yes, Tommy Dalton's in the clear for now as well. All right. Had to check. Let's see. Michelle says electricity out in South Cleveland and North McDonald. Again, I had the EPB map up here. Over 10,000 people still without power in the EPB coverage area. Yeah, Yvonne says power out in Murray and Gordon County. And trying to look up your thanks for those, everybody giving us these updates on where you are and damage reports. It helps us out. I mean, I can see this from a radar standpoint, but it does help for those of you letting us know what's happening out there as far as damage. And we've shown you the official reports, although more reports will start coming in as the night goes on, because a lot of folks have been stuck inside, rightfully so, staying safe inside till these storms pass on by. I would say once we get to around 8 o'clock, the worst of these storms will be moving well south of our viewing area. Still, again, heavy rain across parts of Polk, Cherokee, Monroe, and that flash flood warning out, especially Tellico Plains up to Sweetwater until 8:15 Eastern. Cleveland, you're finally in the clear from both the rain and the lightning. So is Calhoun. So is Decatur. Dayton, Spring City in the clear. Pikeville in the clear. Dunlap in the clear. All of Marion, all of Grundy, all of Sequatchie, all of Hamilton in the clear. All of Catoosa, all of Dade. Pretty much all of Walker with the exception of that area bordering Chattooga County. Right near Walnut Grove and Tryon. Eric says raining pretty good in Somerville. Power has been off and on. Ashley said there's a tree down on Signal Mountain Road. So we got our crews out and about checking on things for you folks. I'm relaying your reports to the newsroom so that they know what's going on. And we'll check on those down tree reports. But just to show you the worst of this storm, the worst of the weather is pretty much on the line from Calhoun to Somerville and south. That's where the worst of it is, and moving farther south and east pretty rapidly. Okay? And then, of course, we've got this heavy rain still occurring. Eastern Polk, Monroe, Cherokee, Clay, Fannin. So quite a bit of rain coming in, still a lot of lightning. So let's just keep it inside for about at least through 8:30. It'll take that long for this to end. But beyond that time, that'll be starting to move on out. All right, folks who weren't on the broadcast earlier, and we talked about this a couple of times, here's what we're watching the rest of the overnight hours. Okay? This is the storm cluster over us now, right here. Now, there's another cluster here, entering western Kentucky up through St. Louis. Notice the upper level flow. It's like this, this, this. Okay? Going just like that. Now, the question is, how much energy has been zapped out of the atmosphere for these to hold together? Can they hold together? Well, it's possible. These have fed off the late afternoon energy. And we'll see if this holds together as it moves farther south and east. Only time will tell with that, okay? So I have to watch that. Now, if we look at this from a modeling point of view, this is the high-res model. I know I'm going to ask this again. But let's take a look at it. So here we go. This is our estimate at 8:45. So about an hour from now, okay, we got this cluster moving away. Things are quiet. And then Nashville will be dealing with those storms coming in. Now this shows 8:45 to about 11:15 along the plateau. Okay. Around midnight, Crossfield to Mount Eagle. And then, around 1 a.m., possibly moving through. Now, they do weaken it with time. Between midnight and 2 a.m., they weaken it with time. Okay? And they move on through. But again, there's some potential for it to move by. So if you're wondering when, heads up around 11 p.m. Eastern, 11 to about 2. Okay? Will it be as strong as this round? We'll have to see. There's been a lot of energy zapped out. Okay? But there's still quite a bit of energy left as far as moisture for more heavy rain. So we'll have to see how it holds together. So be sure to tune in at 10 and 11 tonight on News Channel 9, and we will be tracking those for you. Okay? We'll keep you updated. All right, let's look back over some of the wind damage reports. Few more of these coming in. Let's see. Bledsoe County, multiple trees down as it rolled by around 5:30 this afternoon. We had this report in Cleveland. Trees down around 6:02, trees down, some home damage. We've heard a lot of reports about that. And we saw that one, Red Bank. A large tree near Chickamauga Dam, that's not necessarily Red Bank. That's more Hickson. I don't know how that report came out like that. But whatever. Let's see. Here we go. Here's a report out of Whitfield County. Over near Hannah Court. Tree down on a home. That's in Dalton. Trees down in Polk County near Farner and Turtletown. This is more of a flooding report, I believe, here. Yeah, flash flooding in Monroe County, some street flooding in and around Madisonville. And that flash flood warning remains in effect there. And this is the hail report. One size hail around Philadelphia in Monroe County. That's about the size of a quarter. And that's a threshold for a severe storm when you have quarter-inch diameter hail. Athens, McMinn County, trees and power lines down. I think I mentioned this one already. Ray County near Dayton, several trees down. Spring City. Trees down. Also, one thing to remember, when you have gusts like this, that are like 60, 70 miles an hour, and trees have full foliage, that's like sails on a ship. And it can more easily help push those over. Yeah. So gusts like this on trees with full foliage can really help push them over. I mean, look at these gusts. We've already shown these earlier, but again, there was a gust at the airport of 62 miles an hour. And a gust in Dunlap around 60. Well, you can't see that. Gust in Dunlap around 60 miles an hour. So again, the worst of the storms getting ready to move out of most of the viewing area. I think the worst weather is right now over Chautauqua County. Very heavy rain in Somerville. Not much lightning with that, but we'll keep an eye on that. So I'll be moving through the rest of central southern Chattooga on into northern parts of Floyd. So these areas under that severe thunderstorm warning there until 8:15. Calhoun, Georgia, you're still under a warning technically until 8, although the worst of the weather is now just south of you, just south. There's an update on our watch map. Again, all of southeast Tennessee is no longer under severe thunderstorm watch. Cherokee and Clay County have now been lifted out of that watch. Just northwest Georgia out to 11. It won't be that long. Okay. Again, we're seeing now the hourly updates for the rainfall. So let's take a look across North Georgia where the storms are still ongoing. Very heavy rain near Chatsworth, around 2 inches. About an inch there. Again, these are fast movers, so probably multiple rounds have added up, but 2 to 3 in some spots. And again, most of McMinn County, rain moving out. Polk County, I would say about 8 o'clock. Most of it's moving on out. Same thing across Monroe. It may take about 8:15. Cherokee County, North Carolina, it'll take about 8:30 to get the rain out of here. So some people saying that their lights flicker, didn't go off. That's good. My wife's been texting me, we're without power, so. Looking at some pictures here that someone sent in from across our viewing area, and you can see the tops of the trees blown out, and that's very common with gusts like this. Let me see what that exact location is. I'll share this on my social media. That was in Dalton. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can go to StormTrack9Dave on Twitter. I will post this picture on Twitter currently and then share it over to my other social media pages. And this is some tree and limb damage in Dalton. Make sure I spelled that name correctly. You can see it on my Twitter page. I'm about to post that. Tara says a lot of trees and lights out in Hickson. Yep, that's very common across our area. Let's check the EPB map again. A few customers being restored, but still about 9,600 people without power. You see on the radar view, Turtletown, Ducktown, Blue Ridge, Murphys, where the heaviest rain is now, but things are rapidly improving. Look at that, Dalton, finally in the clear. So is Chatsworth. Not only that, the lightning has also ended. That's good. Again, a little loud around Somerville with the thunder, but again, it's pretty much below severe levels. Even down near Rome, it's not as bad. Maybe some wind gusts, but nowhere near as bad as it was east of you across Gordon and now moving into Bartow County. So even Calhoun, Georgia, things are improving. As we noted on radar, about 4 inches of rain has fallen in that part of Monroe County, back through eastern McMinn. So that flash flood warning out till 8:15 Eastern. And I'm going to share this over to a couple of our pages here. If you follow me on Facebook, you can. Meteorologist David Glenn, WTVC. You follow me there, and I'll share this picture that was sent in by Andrea Royal from Dalton. Appreciate you chiming in on our chime-in page. But things are a whole lot quieter than they were a couple of hours ago. Very busy during our newscast, very busy afterward. And we'll get a little bit of a break here for a little while. Then we'll keep an eye on those other storms coming in from the northwest, see if they hold together. Teresa says, thank goodness for the rain. That was a while back. I'm just going over some of the comments here. Gina says, power back on in Rogers Creek. Well, that's some good news to hear. Sadie says, no power in Cleveland. Yeah, Somerville is now out of that warning updated there. So it's just the far southern part of Chattooga from Lyerly down to Rome, so under this warning until 8:15. And then this warning here for Gordon expires at the top of the hour, but at least the worst of it, weather has now moved out of Gordon County. So we're about to be almost all areas locally out of the severe threat. Some of the outflow causing some flare-ups around Valley Head to Henniger. So Fort Payne, a few downpours coming your way, so be aware of that. But right now, not severe, though we'll keep an eye on that for you. Yeah, in and around the city, things are calmer. Should have a nice sunset. And if sky's clear a little bit, I'm not sure there's a lot of clearing there. There's a lot of clouds around. Look for a rainbow on the eastern horizon. You can see Nashville now getting some of these storms building up there. So they've been able to see those redevelop. So that's what we got to keep an eye on. Again, as we kind of zoom out a bit, there's the upper level flow going down like, okay. So we'll have to see if this zapped a lot of energy or if there's enough energy left. And Nashville, again, had the storms move out around mid-afternoon, so they had the late afternoon heat to help fuel these. We're getting these during the early evening, so I have to see there won't be much solar recovery. But there is, quite a bit of humidity left and could lead to more downpours and some flash flooding in spots. And then we'll keep an eye on this cluster of storms here to see if they hold together. Okay? That's what we're watching for later tonight, which will be between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. if they hold together. We're approaching the top of the hour, 8 o'clock, and I have a feeling by then Calhoun will be out of the warnings, and pretty much most of Chattooga County will as well. Heavy downpours continue LJ to Murphy to Blairsville. Lightning threatened downpours, and watch for flash flooding, but not a severe threat. Looking at some of your comments, Justin keeps saying Kentucky. Are you referring to the storms we just talked about up to the northwest? I'm assuming that's what you mean. Rose says power out, large tree limb down in Harrison. Maria asking about Ringgold. I think Ringgold's fine. There are several areas without power, Maria, but I've not heard of any major damage. There are some trees down with power lines. It's been very common across our viewing area, though, again, that's mainly just going for what viewers have said. But for now, the severe threat's over in Ringgold, at least for this line of storms. Okay. Thanks for clarifying that, Justin. Yeah. Maria in Rome, Georgia. You can see they're not getting it quite as bad as the rest of our viewing area did. It's windy. There's some rain in Rome. That's really about it. They're technically under a warning until 8:15 in Rome, in that part of Floyd County, but again, it's not nearly as bad as it once was. Still some wind gusts accompanying that. Calhoun, you're pretty much in the clear. So is Somerville. LJ raining and lightning, though, again, not severe. Dalton, Chatsworth, Barnell, Chickamauga, Chattanooga, East Brainerd, Harrison, Soddy, Hickson, Cleveland, Sail Creek, Red Bank, Dayton, Decatur, 10 Mile, Athens, Inglewood, Pikeville, Dunlap. You're all in the clear for now. And again, eventually Polk County, I'd say by 8:15, most of that rain's moving out. Monroe County, it'll probably take till 8:30 for all that to exit out of the mountains. Cherokee County, same thing. It'll take about 8:30. Cherokee to Blue Ridge, 8:30 till the rain moves out with the lightning, but again, not a severe threat. Again, crews are out and about. Hamilton County restoring power. Hats off to all of those men and women out there in the elements. It'll take a while, but we've seen that number peak at about over 10,000 people without power. Now it's down to 8,800. So again, gaining some ground there. So hopefully it won't be too much longer for you, but please be patient. They all do a tremendous job, as I mentioned, out in the elements, trying to help everyone get their power back. All right, let's talk about the rest of the overnight hours as we're going to wrap this up just a little bit after 8 o'clock. Again, we'll keep an eye on things for the rest of the evening. Now, here's what we'll keep an eye on. Let me pause the radar view. There we go. So storms developing around Nashville, a few more around the plateau. We'll keep an eye on these. And we'll keep an eye to see how these hold together. Now you notice again, I've got the upper level flow noted like this. Okay, that's the direction of movement. That's what we call the 700 millibar flow, or the steering flow for thunderstorms. Okay. So we'll have to see if this cluster of storms that moved over us zaps the energy out of the atmosphere, or if there's going to be more energy. So again, we'll see if these hold together. Okay. We'll see how these hold together near Nashville and move south and east with time. Okay. Now, let me show you the high-res model. And it does show between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. the potential for more rain overnight. But again, it's a big if right now. So this is not the current radar. This is around 11 o'clock. Shows potential of rain west of the plateau, Cleveland, Mount Eagle, and west around 11. And then around midnight, around the plateau. So midnight to 2 a.m. Moving through the city. Could be over North Georgia around 2 a.m. and then quickly exiting. So between 11 and 2, about a 3-hour period, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m., we'll keep an eye and see if those hold together. Okay, big if right now, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. But I'll have a full update on Fox Chattanooga at 10 and News Channel 9 at 11. As we keep you updated as you always do, and live broadcasts needed during the night like we have here on social media. But again, most all areas are clearing out of the warnings. And that's good to see. Let's look back over the wind damage reports locally. See if there's been a few more added to it. I think we covered most of these. Mostly trees and power lines down where you see the dots, at least the white dots. And I'm sure these, once more reports come in, these will be filling in. But again, the strongest wind report at the airport, 62, but I'm sure where some of the trees are down in spots, it could have easily peaked out above 70 or more. Could add some downbursts to some of the storms, which could cause some tree damage. Very possible. All right, folks, that'll wrap up our storm tracking for now. We will be watching farther north and west with time, and if needed, have further updates. So please join me on Fox Chattanooga at 10 and News Channel 9 at 11 for more updates and live if needed throughout the night. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for your reports, and we will keep you posted.